Tonight on CTV News at 11:30. A North Bay man is found guilty in the murder of 33-year-old Tristan Ayres. Plus, a grassroots movement for safer highways across Northern Ontario is gaining momentum.
I'm really not into politics usually. But it's hurting a lot of people.
Several communities are now planning rallies or protests of their own. And protecting yourself from fraud.
My focus is really to get people to learn and understand what scammers are doing.
A seniors group in Sudbury learns about scams and how to keep yourself from becoming a victim.
CTV News at 11:30 with Ian Campbell and Rick Wyman with weather.
Oh, good evening. Thanks for staying up with us. The jury in the second-degree murder trial in North Bay has found Brandon Nakaji guilty of stabbing Tristan Ayres to death with a knife only 8 days before Christmas 2022. The jury read out its verdict a little after 8 p.m. tonight after 5.5 hours of deliberating. CTV's Eric Tashner has the latest from the courthouse.
When the jury read aloud its guilty verdict, there were gasps of relief from the family of Tristan Ayres. Some buried their head in their hands, tears flowing from their eyes, and there were lots of hugs. All the while, Brandon Nakaji stared forward at the judge. Nakaji was convicted of stabbing Tristan Ayres in the back, severing an artery in the early hours of December 17th, 2022. The jury agreed with the Crown that he and Trevor Goulet, who previously pleaded guilty to manslaughter, teamed up and beat Ayres in an alleyway near the LCBO parking lot on Worthington Street West after looking for smokes. Goulet used a stick, and when the stick broke in two, Nakaji pulled out a knife and stabbed Ayres when he felt Goulet was weak and wasn't winning the fight. Nakaji also stabbed Ayres' legs several times after. Ayres was able to crawl over a nearby guardrail into the parking lot where the attack continued, and that's where Ayres bled to death. Nakaji's lawyer, Lori Galway, declined comment to the media. Meanwhile, Ayres' family feels a sense of relief. Issuing a brief statement to reporters, the family is relieved that justice has been served, regardless of the circumstances.
And we're having some technical difficulties. Our apologies. Eric was going to say sentencing is going to continue February 13th. In the meantime, once again, Brandon Nakaji has been found guilty of second-degree murder. In other news, more trouble for Kashechewan First Nation. It's dealing with a water crisis and with cases of gastrointestinal illnesses, and it's unclear whether the two are connected. Indigenous Services Canada confirms cases of the parasite known as Cryptosporidium among some Kashechewan residents. It did not say whether those are evacuees or residents are still in the remote northern community, but leadership suspects it's both and add there are 34 cases. The do not consume water advisory remains in place and repairs are still underway on the water treatment system. Testing is underway to determine if the gastrointestinal illness was because of the system failure.
I don't think we really did stool samples to really find out what was happening to people until later. I wouldn't say later on, but maybe a few days or a week after the situation with our water plant unfolded. We don't know exactly when it started, but I know the infrastructure was failing and raw sewage was entering the water.
About 460 residents remain in the community, and Wesley says about 60 will be evacuated to Cochrane, Taquatagamo First Nation this week. Others were evacuated to Timmins, Kapuskasing, Kingston, and Niagara Falls. A grassroots movement in support of Highways 11 and 17 is gaining momentum. As we told you first earlier this week, Northerners and their political leaders are gathering in a number of communities, rallying for safer highways. CTV's Lydia Chubak reports.
Anyone who travels on Highways 11 and 17 know they're busy with commercial motor vehicles, and in winter, conditions can be hazardous.
Driving on our highway is scary. It's like Russian roulette.
That's Maris Damour. She lives in Kapuskasing and works as a dog groomer. She says she's saddened by the number of collisions claiming people's lives and came up with the idea to rally for safer highways.
I'm really not into politics usually. But it's just it's hurting a lot of people. And also, we also have to think of the truckers that get stuck on those highways. They don't want to come here. They hate our highway. That's highway for hell.
This rally was organized to bring attention to the conditions on Highway 11, the number of accidents, the number of close calls. I don't know a family who hasn't had a driver with a close call or a close call themselves, or tragically have had much more serious things happen.
The Northern Corridor Chamber of Commerce helped Amor to organize the rally in Kapuskasing. And so far, rallies are also set to take place in Hearst, Fauquier, Timiskaming Shores, and Cochrane.
So this is necessary. It's necessary for folks who live on the highway here to be heard, first and foremost. It's necessary for them to be able to offload some of their concerns. And then it's necessary for us as the regional leaders to be very constructive with that and to work with the province and the folks who make those decisions to have meaningful change.
Will they act? We might have to push harder, and we're certainly willing to, but will they take? They are taking notice.
At Ontario's Rural Leaders Conference this week, the Premier said it's been disturbing to hear of all the accidents in Northern Ontario.
So we're going to continue investing in rural roads and highways, investing like the North has never seen before.
The rallies will take place simultaneously Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
No one was injured in that crash we told you about last night between a police cruiser and a snowmobile. This was the scene in around the 8 o'clock hour last night. The crash kept Highway 144 closed for several hours. It happened on Highway 144 in Sturgeon Street in the greater Sudbury community of Dowling. Police say they are continuing their investigation. Sudbury police say they've seized a large amount of fentanyl and arrested 2 men from the Greater Toronto area. CTV's Elena Everson has more.
Greater Sudbury Police released this picture of 750 grams of fentanyl that was pre-weighed and pre-packaged. The drug seizure was part of Project Tilton, which was led by detectives with the Drug Enforcement Unit.
Officers seized $75,000 worth of fentanyl, that is 750 grams, and potentially 7,500 lethal doses of fentanyl that were removed from our streets.
Police arrested 2 men from the GTA after a high-risk vehicle stop on Highway 69 earlier this week. Funding for Project Tilton came from the Ontario government, Ministry of the Solicitor General, in which the Criminal Intelligence Service Ontario supported this investigation.
It was used to purchase equipment used for surveillance for Project Tilton. So through the surveillance equipment, we were able to gather information in relation to the individuals believed to be trafficking drugs in our community.
The Mayor of Sudbury also sits on the Police Services Board and is commending efforts focusing on illicit drugs and dealers.
No, I want to thank our frontline workers at Greater Sudbury Police for the great job that they're doing, certainly to try to stem the flow of fentanyl drugs coming into our community. We know that we're at a cusp of drugs that are coming into our community, and the fact that we have the equipment right now, and certainly we've actually increased the police services to deal with this really challenging times in our society.
Fortunately, we do see organized crime moving into Northern Ontario, as Sudbury is the hub to the north. So traveling through from the 400 to Highway 69 and into our community, where we are seeing illicit drugs as well as organized crime moving through from Southern Ontario.
Greater Sudbury Police say anything that poses a high-risk threat to the community, like illicit drugs or organized crime, will continue to be a focus by disrupting and arresting individuals involved. Alana Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
Common scams and frauds were the subject at a meeting of the Canadian Association of Retired Persons today in Sudbury. CTV's Madison Marier reports.
Frauds and scams. Do you guys get a lot of phone calls?
Yes. Yeah. Fraud and scams are present in every community, and it can target every age range. However, some of the most vulnerable to these scams are seniors.
I was here to educate. My focus is really to get people to learn and understand what scammers are doing, how their scammers are working, so that maybe we can protect our older adults, because our older adults are generally the victims.
I believe it's close to 60 to 65,000 of us are over the age of 65. So we're a real target audience for scammers. And it's good that we share these stories where we have been affected by someone who's trying to scam us, and to let others know.
Some of the scams outlined were romance scams, grandparent scams, and lottery scams.
It's constantly happening because they keep trying and they keep being successful on getting people who are vulnerable to give in. They will play on people's fears. They will play on people's sensitivities.
I would say that probably 100% of seniors with either cell phones or landlines or internet connection have been affected by a scam, at least have been, if they haven't lost money themselves, they have been in a situation where they could have.
Scams are always evolving, which makes predicting them very difficult. But Landry recommends removing your name from your voicemail message and not answering unknown numbers.
Scammers will do everything and anything. They will use Facebook to play games on them, to try to get people to give them information.
Landry recommends that families set up emergency passwords to help them combat the rise of artificial intelligence, making scams appear more realistic. Madison Marier, CTV News, Sudbury.
Mechanical issues are to blame for delays with recycling and organics collections in some greater Sudbury community neighborhoods this week. CTV's Angela Gemmell has the latest.
This street in Sudbury finally gets its recycling and organics picked up 24 hours after residents put their bins to the curb. The city of Greater Sudbury says it is aware some neighborhoods experienced delays with blue box and green cart collection this week. In an email to CTV News, it says these delays are related to unexpected truck breakdowns experienced by WM, which resulted in some routes not being collected on their scheduled day. Crews are working overtime, repairing trucks and bringing in additional trucks to catch up. It was January 1st when new provincial changes came into effect, with the program transferring to producer responsibility. That's when Circular Materials took over the work, using WM or Waste Management as the contractor to collect recyclables. Yet in a statement to CTV News, the producer says extreme weather resulted in minor delays to recycling collection for several households in Greater Sudbury yesterday. Our service provider, Waste Management, has confirmed that delayed recycling collection due to weather conditions will be completed today or tomorrow at the latest. This service alert was posted to its website this morning. The city says it doesn't have a final count on how many households were affected by the delay this week. Routes missed on one day are being collected on the following day, but the city says that's created a domino effect with subsequent routes. All routes are expected to be caught up by Saturday. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
Time now for a short break here on CTV News. Coming up, Rick will have your full weather forecast. For now, look at the weather warnings we have in place and lots of stuff going on here. Let me explain. We've got snow squall warnings down Highway 69 at 11, 5 to 10 centimeters is possible near Point O'Barrel, closer to 15 in Perry Sound. We've also got squall warnings north of the North Shore, 5 to 10 centimeters there, and Highway 17 from the Sault to Wawa still closed because of a snow squall where 15 centimeters is possible. And we've got extreme cold warnings just about everywhere else with wind chill values of minus 40 or worse. Let's take a look at the current conditions. And minus 25 in Kapuskasing and Timmins. Yikes. We're starting to see some snowflake and activity there, along with some snow squall activity along the Georgian Bay. Minus 17 in North Bay. We'll have some details after the break.
Murdered in Mexico.
He was sleeping next to her body.
A family torn apart.
I just want to know what happened that night.
After her boyfriend is found not guilty.
I have never seen anything like this.
Watch Saturday at 7 on CTV and Crave.
Starting things off late this evening, of course, an extreme cold weather alert as issued by Environment Canada, continuing tonight and overnight into tomorrow, and evening temperatures as well. By tomorrow night will be very cold, so again, bundle up, take care. Frostbite in the forecast, and you've got to protect yourself one way or another. Forecast radar, here we go. Our system moving through. It's a high pressure system right now. Some sunny breaks, but colder temperatures, and when things warm up, we'll get the snow flurries and squalls, and they'll continue somewhat, but on a very light degree. over the course of the next couple of days. So no really severe precipitation amounts that we have to worry about. Sudbury Nickel Belt, wind chill minus 37 for tomorrow. Saturday sunshine warming up to minus 18 the daytime high. Sunday some cloud cover minus 17, then minus 12 Monday, Tuesday with a chance of flurries for both days. In Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, wind chill tomorrow of minus 32, minus 19 the high, minus 13 for a couple of days, chance of flurries. Then Monday, Tuesday, chance of flurries, minus 10, minus 11, and Wednesday, minus 12 with the chance of flurries once again. This forecast gets real interesting. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, loads of sunshine, but cold. Minus 36 for tomorrow. Saturday, Sunday, minus 21, minus 16, minus 15 and minus 16 Monday, Tuesday. But the evening temperatures, minus 32 to kick things off Friday and Saturday. Then it warms up somewhat by about Sunday evening. Meanwhile, in Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake, more sunshine. We've got some flurry activity, the odd sunny break, but the wind chill minus 39. Sunshine on Saturday, minus 21. Cloud cover for a couple of days, minus 18, minus 14. And the chance of flurries on Tuesday at minus 13. That's a pretty good temperature for earlier on in the week to get things going. North Bay, West Nipissing, minus 34 wind chill tomorrow, minus 21. The normal daytime high, at least for the record, so to speak, but well below the normal as issued right across the board for the Northeast. Saturday, sunny skies, minus 19. Sunday, some cloud cover. Monday, Tuesday, chance of flurries. And Wednesday, we've got some sun and clouds. So, Ian, again, very cold for tonight. Overnight, continuing into tomorrow and tomorrow evening. It'll start to let up by at least Saturday. Back to you.
That's good news. Thanks, Rick. And due to that extreme cold you just heard him mention, the city of Timmins is canceling its crossing guards tomorrow. Timmins is under a yellow cold warning with temperatures expected to drop to minus 43 in the morning with the wind chill. Frostbite can develop within minutes on exposed skin. The city adds crossing guards are expected for afternoon shifts. Well, south of us, there was more rough weather as things got dicey in through Muskoka, and Highway 11 even shut down once again. CTV's Rob Cooper was right in the thick of it.
Another brutal day for drivers on Highway 11 from Orillia to Muskoka. Police responding to numerous crashes this morning, many of them multi-vehicle. This one just north of Orillia involved 5 vehicles. Police say poor weather and deteriorating road conditions were a combination today. Early this afternoon, 2 more multi-vehicle crashes just south of Orillia. This one by line 15 involved 2 tractor trailers. And this one just south of line 14 involved a tractor trailer. All lanes had to be shut down for cleanup and removal. And when there were no crashes, drivers had to navigate whiteout conditions. This was Highway 11 in Washego.
I just came from Washego. You can't see. It's snowing so hard over here you can't see.
For the second straight day, police advising people to avoid unnecessary travel. Another day of white-knuckle driving during a season hard to duplicate.
Well, how's that going for you?
Pretty well.
Towns and communities across Muskoka trying to clear snow before more comes. People in Gravenhurst have seen it all before.
Just happened to get off early today, so I'm shoveling.
Yeah. Not only are snow squalls expected to continue, the extreme cold is moving in. In Bracebridge, the Muskoka Lumber Community Center and Bracebridge Sports Complex will act as warming stations this weekend for anyone who needs it.
We're out there all the way 24/7 with our town staff, our contractors, making sure that the roads are clear, sidewalks are clear.
We start at midnight and it's 12:30 now, so we've been 12 hours solid and back out tonight.
With more snow expected and a dramatic drop in the temperature in the coming days, people are being encouraged to be prepared and ready if they do go outdoors. And if you are traveling, make sure you have a safety kit just in case. Rob Cooper, CTV News, Bracebridge.
Canadian company Power Sustainable Lias announced it's buying Parry Sound-based Crofters Organic. Crofters Organic is the largest supplier of organic jams, jellies, and spreads in North America. Power Sustainable Lias, with co-investments from Farm Credit Canada, BMO Capital Partners, and the family behind the Crofters, will expand the Parry Sound operation. The shared investment consortium ensures Crofters remains a Canadian-owned company and long-term investment in its Parry Sound operations. Thunder Bay Pulp and Paper has announced it's stopping production of newsprint. The newsprint production will end sometime in the first quarter, joining Espanola, Terrace Bay, and others that have shut down similar operations. The company blames a uniquely large drop in demand, noting that North American newsprint use has plummeted 40% since 2022. 150 jobs will be cut, a loss that Thunder Bay's MPP calls disappointing. Still ahead tonight on CTV News. It was an exciting night for hockey down at the Bort Longyear Memorial Gardens. We'll head to North Bay to check on the troops after this. What a night to be a Troops fan. At one point, the crowd sounded like they were going to blow the roof off the Bort Longyear Memorial Gardens in North Bay, especially after goal number 3.
Gives it to Petrie. Amadovsky now. Dips the shoulder, backhand toward the front of the net, they score!
That was Sebastien Gervais finding the back of the net with a little help from Liram Amadovsky and Caden Petrie in the last few seconds of the second period. North Bay on the offensive. Lots of shots on goal, and the battalion would carry that momentum forward into the third period, and eventually overtime, Amadovsky would get one more goal to seal the hat trick. North Bay wins 5-4 over Brantford. And tonight it was another blowout down at the Countryside Arena over in the NOJHL as the Sudbury Cubs played host to the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners. Cub Owen King with a hat trick tonight, 3 goals and 2 assists. Sudbury wins this one 10-2. Exciting news from a biathlete from Thessalon. Shiloh Rousseau announced on social media today she's heading to Milano Cortina. Rousseau competed at the World Cup circuit in Germany recently, where she finished 21st in the pursuit and 26th in the sprint. This will be her first Olympic Games. Congratulations to Shiloh and best of luck at the Games. I know I interviewed her, and I know the whole North Shore is cheering her on. Well, the relics of Saint Kateri and Tekakwitha, the first Indigenous North American saint, and Saint Jean de Brebeuf, one of the Canadian martyrs, are traveling across Northern Ontario. Officials with the pilgrimage tour say its focus is on prayer, healing, and reconciliation. CTV's Lindsay Alick reports.
Led by the Anishinaabe Spiritual Center and Father John O'Brien of the Martyrs Shrine in Midland, 9 communities across the north get to see these relics up close.
People generally are very grateful. They're just happy to have had the chance to encounter these relics, which are of course the bone fragments of these great figures, kind of our spiritual ancestors who walked the ground in Canada 400 years ago.
From Moosonee to Sudbury, each community event includes a mass and time for personal prayer and veneration.
The opportunity for us to accompany the relics, especially St. Kateri, to remote Indigenous churches would be very important, and churches in general, of course. And it would give us an opportunity, because we're a training center for lay ministry, especially Catholic Indigenous lay ministry. So it was an opportunity to meet these other churches to be able to help give support to them.
O'Brien says this is the end of what has been a cross-Canada tour, as the Martyrs Shrine recognizes its 100th anniversary in 2026.
There's a lot of centennial celebrations happening this year, and we extend an open invitation to all Canadians and Ontarians to visit this summer. And it's also the 400th anniversary of those first encounters with the Jesuit missionaries and the Wendat people. So it's kind of a big anniversary year, a good year to make a pilgrimage or a visit to the National Shrine.
For those that can't make it to Midland, there are still stops in Kapuskasing tomorrow, North Bay on Saturday, Sudbury on Sunday, with the relics returning home to the shrine on Monday. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
Finally for us, a TV show that is helping Sudbury with its place on the map has been greenlit for a season 6. The hockey-themed comedy saw its ratings increase by 36% in season 5 compared to season 4. We're talking Shoresy, that is. Season 5 saw Shoresy and the Bulldogs fight to protect our beloved Canadian game. Bell Media says the series remains one of Crave's top-performing originals, with each season ranking among the top 5 in its year of release. The cast right now is in the midst of wrapping up an 8-stop North American tour where the Sudbury Blueberry Bulldogs face off against NHL alumni teams. Who doesn't love a Sudbury blueberry blue dog? That takes us to the end of our newscast this Thursday night. For the latest news anytime, remember you can head to our website, ctvnewsnorthernontario.ca. You can also download our CTV News app. Thanks for watching. Stay warm. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.